situation a couple of times in the Big Ten tournament now. Maybe it can play in some teams' favor, and it might be, well, some teams might be up against it playing a team for the 4th time in the regular season. Kayla Chavez at the plate. She comes to the plate with 99 career hits, and you see her season averages, also a first team All Big Ten honoree this year.
And Chavez is just such a tough out. She sees a lot of pitches. She lets the count work and then looks to drive a pitch. She's kind of, to me, the type of leadoff hitter that you want at the top of your lineup.
Swing and a miss there, and 2 strikes against Chavez as Copeland jumps out on her. And she fouls it back. You saw Chavez's numbers in the last 12 games. Remember Minnesota coming in with that 12-game win streak, but Chavez, the 2nd best hitter in this season series against Indiana, batting .400 with double-digit at-bats. There's the last 12 that she has in this win streak.
You can see already the battle between just the first batter, Chavez, and Copeland. Like, nothing is going to be easy this game. Every single at-bat is going to be a mini chess match and an attempt to win. You have to win all those little battles to try to come out with a big win in the game.
2-2 now the count. The last pitch.
I mean, and look where this pitch goes. It's a little bit high in the zone, a little bit off in the zone, but close enough to that strike zone. You got Chavez thinking about it. Ultimately lays off, fouls that one off as well.
These batters have certainly seen Copeland in this series. She threw for 14 innings in this regular season series. And now a little bit of a meeting of the minds here, the battery meeting. Lindsay Warwick talking to her pitcher. And you see Benson and Bassett kind of in the area as well. And well, Chavez will have a conversation too.
And you've got to find that out pitch if you're Copeland. You've been mixing your pitches well enough. Chavez has been patient on the pitches that have been balls. And so what is it that will work? Where do you get your team set, your defense set? And then how do you execute that pitch to get the desire you want, or the outcome you desire?
She went high for it, and the first strikeout, the first batter.
Copeland introducing this rise, just jumping at the letters, going a little bit higher. You see Chavez tried to go up and get it, but ultimately started too high, jumped even higher. A great pitch by Copeland. Great way to set the tone.
Amani Bradley is your number 2 hitter for Minnesota. One of the seniors in a grad transfer coming out of Cal. Bradley just below 300 here for the season. Swings at the second pitch, 2 up and 2 down. A strikeout and a ground ball out, and quick work from Brianna Copeland.
I think that is absolutely the key for both of the pitchers in this game. How can you be efficient? What can you do to kind of limit the amount of pitches that you throw to let these batters get comfortable in an at-bat? Just go and attack the zone, work on getting quick ground outs, quick fly outs, Ks when you need them, but success comes with those ground outs.
Jess Oakland takes the first pitch. In for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. We have talked about the talent, the young talent in the Big Ten throughout the tournament in our first couple of Jays, and Jess Oakland is one of them. A freshman for Minnesota, first team All Big Ten. Of course, made the all-freshman team as well. And numbers against Indiana. One of the reasons why she is a first team All Big Ten honoree. Look at this, 5 for 9. couple of home runs, 3 RBI. And she scored 4 runs herself, and she drills it. A deep fly ball, but not going to be enough to get there. ERA in this season series against the Hoosiers.
Throws low to mid 60s. She's got this changeup that is just so good. She introduces it very often, sometimes almost as much as her faststop. She can mix in a third speed as well. Sometimes can take it the speed off of her curveball and introduce what feels like a third speed, which is enough to keep the batters off balance.
And swinging at the first pitch, pass it, trying to go deep, pass it all the way to the wall. It'll be extra bases just like that. 1 pitch and a double to open things up for the Hoosiers.
And to me, you know, if you're facing an autumn piece, you're going to get a great pitch to go and attack the batter. Your first pitch, this one, a rise ball that just starts in the strike zone and jumps with Bassett, goes up and gets it. Trying to wheel it out of here. Hits the wall. But she's able to get to second as Bradley goes back on the ball. Cannot make the catch.
And now this is the matchup that we want to see here in the postseason. It is the Big Ten Pitcher of the Year against the Big Ten Player and Freshman of the Year. Tara Kern at the plate against Autumn Pease in the circle.
To me, this is where you grab your bucket of popcorn and just sit there and watch. 2 great athletes go at each other. A great hitter, great pitcher. And Kern is so good. If you can see how she swings the bat, just great speed. Look where her toes are, right on that chalk line. Not afraid.
Allows her to hit every part of the plate with her toes that close.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you move up on the chalk line, you're trying to take away that inside pitch and go with your strength, which is kind of a down and away. But she tends to be able to hit the inside pitches as well. She just turns on them so well. Good quick hands. I think if you're Pease, you've got to be careful about what pitches you do throw. I think, you know, you trust your gut. I was never a fan of intentionally walking people either. You don't want to walk her and just put her on every single time, but you want to make sure you're careful in how you throw. You see her toes right on that chalk line.
She's backed up a little bit too in the batter's box within this at bat as well. You saw her numbers in this 10-game win streak for Indiana.
Back of the box to try to take away some of that late break. You're catching it after it breaks. And her left foot there, right back on the back chalk line. Her front toes right on the front chalk line.
Caught her looking. And Kern actually still hitless here in the Big Ten tournament, and she sits down the Player of the Year looking.
Well, all eyes are on Kern right now, and so you have to be able to take your hacks. This is an off speed that's just so beautifully placed on that outside corner. Freezes Kern on a called strike 3. Huge out.
Brings up another fantastic hitter, Taylor Minnick. And ironically, though, Kern and Minnick, if you were to pick 2 hitters that don't have a hit yet in the Big Ten tournament, I don't think you would pick those 2 hitters.
Well, Minnick was kind of my number 2 choice for Player of the Year. You know, if you're not going to give it to Kern, give it to Minnick. If you didn't want to give Freshman and Player of the Year to the same person, she just hits that well too. Maybe shadowed a bit by Kern's performance, but really good. And I think you have these 2 hitters that everybody's eyeballs are on. And so when you're going to prepare for a team, you know exactly where to throw, when to throw, why to throw to them. And so from here on out, as the postseason goes on, between Minnick and Kern, they're not going to see great pitches. They're going to have to go and attack something that might not be their forte.
1 ball, 1 strike, inside pitch, not quite there. Taryn Kern now 0 for 5 in the Big Ten tournament. Taylor Minnick coming into this at-bat 0 for 3 against Penn State in the quarterfinals yesterday. And And she skies one to center field, backpedaling to the wall. It's up and over. Her first hit of the Big Ten tournament, and it's a big one. A 2-run home run as Indiana jumps out 2-0.
Taylor Minnick, talk about timely hitting. She may have been 0 for before now, but coming through big for Indiana early on in this game. She's patient in that box, sees an up and out pitch. Gets the barrel on it, starts her trot automatically, knew it was out. See just the extension. She got all of that, drives it back through center field. Then Hartog makes an attempt at it, but not a chance. And that long ball for the Hoosiers, something that is part of their MO.
Oh, absolutely. 76 total now for the team. You saw it's the 12th home run for Minnick this year. And so you get through Kern, you get through Minnick, and now you got to face Sarah Stone. And we've shown you already that she can hit the long ball.
And I think we don't talk enough about Minnick in the sense that the reason why Kern is getting the pitches that she's getting is because somebody as good as Minnick is behind her. And so you've got to just try to attack and be more careful. And so it's giving her more quality pitches to swing at. And again, what we saw Minnick can do there, she can send it. Sarah Stone behind in this at bat. Thanks in part to a changeup let off with the first pitch of the at bat, slowing it down for her, having to make her adjust her balance.
Oh, and still only 1 out. There's a good change of pace. And the second strikeout to get both outs here so far in this inning. One looking, one swinging. Minnesota defense, Jess Oakland at the shortstop position is a first-team All-Big Ten honoree. Taylor Kraft is a transfer, one of the newest faces behind home plate. She's also first-team All-Big Ten. Both of these teams defensively have kind of settled into their positions with a lot of these players. Not a lot of shifting around. Brianna Copeland with her first at-bat. She's got 12 home runs this season as well. And Copeland takes it into the air, and just tracking it down is Amani Bradley here at the plate. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters against Brianna Copeland. And Natalie Hartog flies it to center field. The best home run hitter in Minnesota history retired after 1 pitch.
I think we're going to see a lot of deep fly balls to me in this game. You've got some big hitters with some big swings that, again, we talked about it, relying on the long ball, but if they don't get it, they've all got warning track power, and they're not afraid to take those big swings. Especially on that first pitch. Stay aggressive on these pitchers. The goal of any pitcher should be to get ahead of the batter, right? So in a lot of cases, when the goal is to get ahead, you've got to go and start with getting that strike in the first pitch. That's why you see a lot of teams that'll start the game that'll just want a first pitch swing.
It's Taylor Kraft at the plate, playing in her first Big Ten tournament, a mid-year transfer out of Duke. And Kraft was 0 for 3 against Ohio State yesterday in the quarterfinals. But has drawn a 3-0 count here. And the first 3-0 count for Copeland in this game.
Kraft thinking about it on 3-0. I kind of like when you have batters that are confident enough that you get a 3-0 count, that you don't tighten up and want to, you know, swing for the fences with it. You have batters that can do that, then you can give them the green light on 3-0.
We saw Kelsey Nader swing on a 3-0 pitch, and it paid off. Ended up in An RBI hit for Northwestern yesterday in the quarterfinals, but the first walk now handed out by Brianna Copeland.
The second baseman, number 2, Sydney Strelo.
And the second walk that Kraft has drawn here in the Big Ten tournament, she also had one yesterday in the quarters. Sydney Strelo is next at the plate. Senior out of Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Strelo's strength, hitting that curveball. Send it to the opposite side of the field, but very good on turning on the inside pitch as well. Ultimately, she's got to pick one side.
Fly ball to left field, and Strelo is retired. Now 2 outs. Couple of fly ball outs here so far in the second inning. Maddie Elke is next up. Love her story. She's a junior in the DP spot. A story of a player who decided to stay put here at Minnesota and put in the time, and now she's seen the results, and she picks up a hit there through the 5-6 hole. A 2-out single by Elke, and now 2 aboard with 2 out for Minnesota.
And that was a bullet past Brooke Benson there at shortstop. Just an outside pitch, then opposite side of the field, but Elke got a good barrel on it. First pitch swinging again. So you can kind of see that game plan with Minnesota, and what they're doing is just attacking that first pitch when it comes within the zone.
Delaney Cox steps in as the first baseman here today. Sometimes it's Sydney Schwartz, sometimes it's Cox. They have rotated occasionally at that position. Swing and a miss.
You see how this curves off the plate beautifully on the corner, and Cox is just getting the tip of her bat out on that outside corner. She's got to let it come in and send it opposite side.
Sydney Schwartz got the start at first base yesterday in the quarters. Delaney Cox did come in a pinch hit situation. 0 for 1 in that at-bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes here. Into the dirt, evens the count.
On this Minnesota offense, I'm watching what Copeland's throwing to a righty or a lefty. She's typically staying outside on the batters to start. She'll mix in that rise ball. She'll mix in a little bit of an off speed, but in general, her go-to is hitting that outside pitch.
Oh, full count, and up and over the head. It drops in for a single. Minnesota's going to pick up its first run as Kraft comes home and makes it a 2-1 Indiana lead. Cox's first hit actually in this series against Indiana, and it's an RBI.
I mean, so much of this time of year is about timely hitting. This one is an outside pitch that falls a little bit further over the plate. This time Cox gets her barrel on it, just lifts it out of the infield into shallow outfield. A little bit of a fielding miscue there by Kettleman. And that allows Cox to get all the way to second base, but Kraft scores. Maddie Elke all the way to third base. 2 runners in scoring position for Breezy Burnett. And certainly no stranger to timely hitting is Burnett.
Yeah, the walk-off hit. A walk-off RBI single. She was 2 of 3 yesterday and fouls it back. fun to see these freshmen and young players perform in their first postseason games. Foul ball.
And if that were a little bit more inside that line, talking extra bases for Burnett, and clearing the bases as well. You keep that inside pitch inside enough that when you turn on it, it's almost impossible to be fair.
Misses the low pitch. A toss to first to make it official.
Copeland does this so well. She hits her corners, she gets the foul balls, fouls it off. Athletes on the same team that are excelling at that level. Just with so much confidence too. I feel like one of the things that when you can just sit back and watch an Indiana team right now, the amount of confidence that they bring to just step in at the plate, be out on defense, they do their job and they do it well.
Parker with the first at-bat, pops it up into the infield for the first out. 6, 7, and 8 hitters coming to the plate for Indiana.
The left fielder, number 15, Cassidy Kettleman.
Back-to-back freshmen in the 6 and the 7 spot in this lineup. Avery Parker, followed by Cassidy Kettleman. Indiana is a team that has 11 total sophomores and freshmen. 3 of those freshmen, by the way, made the all-freshman team here this year. Kettleman is one of them. And Kettleman fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The scouting report on Kettleman is that she doesn't drive things opposite side of the field, as you just saw her foul that one off. Does not have a ball in play yet on the left field line. Versus a right-handed pitcher. Tends to turn on most everything.
Inside pitch here to Kettleman.
Let's go, Cass! Let's go, Cassidy!
Great pitch, just hitting that inside half of the plate. Getting ahead. When Autumn Peace wants to get ahead of the count, she's not afraid to bring it over that plate. And I think that that's something that if Indiana's looking to attack, they've got to be aware of those counts and the moments where it makes sense for her to just deliver it over the heart of the plate.
And induces the ground ball, the backhander by Strelo, and the safe. So Kettleman beats out the throw.
Strelo kind of had to go back and take an angle on that to make the play. It's kind of a slow roller too. You see the squeeze of the glove. Very close play, not surprised that there's going to be a plan for a review there. You see that foot go and touch the bag about the same time that ball has been received.
Well, each head coach gets 2 reviews per game. And we'll take a look at the whole play once again.
You can see how that trails just more up the center of the field. A good backhand by Strelo and makes a good throw.
And probably, maybe if you asked Sydney Strelo, it seemed to me she took like even an extra second on the transfer too before she made the throw. You know, I think she would probably, if you asked her to do it again, she would like that to be a little bit cleaner and quicker.
Pick it and go, yeah, for sure.
A Minnesota challenge by Piper Ritter though. See her in the dugout. Liz Hammerschmidt and Naomi Erdahl and Tyler Barfus are your umpires working semifinal number 1. Both of these shots are synced up.
You can see where the squeeze of the glove is. That's what the umpires will look for, is that squeeze with the ball in the glove and where that foot lands, boy.
And again, a call on the field is that she's safe. So the umpires at the monitor need clear evidence to overturn this call.
I feel like this has to be upheld. I mean, that is a bang, bang play. I don't know that I see enough to overturn it. I think umpires know exactly what they're looking for. A good decision to do a challenge there, though, for sure, if you're Piper Ritter.
Well, every base runner, every out, I mean, in any normal situation, obviously it always means something. But, you know, the stakes are higher in a game like this in the semifinal between these two teams. Minnesota has won 5 tournament titles coming into today. Indiana comes in with the best seed for the Big Ten tournament in program history, the best conference finish at the second spot since 2011. Here comes the call. Okay, so the call stands. And as we were talking about, that was the call on the field, so you need something that's clear and conclusive to overturn it.
I think that had to be upheld for that reason, that it was just too close of a call that if the call were out on the field, it probably would have stayed out.
Right.
Just a close enough call there, but a win for Indiana nonetheless. Get a batter on base. Just that one out.
Kinsey Mitchell at the plate, center fielder for Indiana. She had a hard collision with Brooke Benson, the shortstop, in center field yesterday. So it's good to see both of those players back and playing here today. No balls, 1 strike in this at-bat. And Pease jumps ahead.
And if I'm Pease, I'm going to deliver a pitch on that outside corner. 47%. The ball's in play in the outfield for Mitchell. Go in shallow left field. Breezy Burnett playing shallow left field just to take away that spot.
Here goes the runner as Kettleman takes off and is safe.
Good hustle by Kettleman. That throw a little bit high from Kraft behind the plate. Going on the release, making the throw from her knees is Kraft a little bit too high. Strelo does a good job to try to get that tag down, but too late.
And pops it up again in the infield. Strelo's been busy. A couple of pop-ups for Strelo at the second base spot, and then of course had to handle that grounder as well. So the first 3 batters going to the right side of the infield and Strelo's way. Here's the 4th batter in this inning, Brooke Benson, the number 9 hitter, starting shortstop for Indiana.
First pitch strike. Attacking is Autumn Peace. That's her MO. I'm going back at Indiana again and just looking to try to attack. 7 of the first 10 have been first pitch strikes. You've seen some success from Indiana. You've seen some success from Minnesota as well, swinging at the first pitch against Copeland.
But how crucial then now is that stolen base, though, right? To put someone like Cassidy Kettleman in scoring position. Indiana, as we know, this year and in years past, is a base-stealing team. Over 100 stolen bases. They haven't attempted as many this year because their offense has just been so good. They haven't been really kind of testing the waters in the field as much. They haven't had to.
It's a nice plan B, though, if you look at it that way, that, our offense is so good we don't have to run, but by the way, we still can. I think it makes them, good in that respect that, they can always fall back on speed. I know Coach Kendra at Arizona, who I played for, always said speed never has a bad day. And it's the truth. If you have that in your back pocket, use it when you can and find success where you can.
Always enjoy our conversations with Shonda Stanton. She joked with us earlier this week that, her stomach was turning, thinking that they might not get to 100 stolen bases this year. We know that's a little bit of their MO since she's come to, or wherever she's been, at Marshall or Bloomington. And they are officially with that latest stolen base by Kettleman. They're at 102 here for the season. 1 ball, 2 strikes, though, to Benson. Two and two now the count.
On a piece like this pitch. I mean, inside the plate, just curving. I think cutting in just a touch too inside. Not a bad pitch when you're ahead in the count.
33rd pitch of the game, and lofts it just over the glove of Oakland. Rounding the bases, the throw is off the mark, and Indiana goes up 3-1 as Kettleman scores on the single by Benson.
Great job by the bottom of this lineup to show up. Kettleman with her hit. And then Brooke Benson here, low and outside. She takes it and drives it. We've seen so many great plays at the shortstop position on a jump and just trying to grab those balls out of the air. This one just a little bit too high. Gets past, allows Kettleman to score on a throw that's off target. The Hoosiers just keep on hitting.
Yeah, Minnesota unable to get out of the inning.
This is where it gets dangerous because the top of the lineup can hit the ball. When you're going to attack batters, you usually, again, 1 through 9 really good with Indiana, but you usually want to kind of get the bottom of the lineup out. You don't want it to turn over because you don't want to put somebody like Bree Copeland, who got a double her first at bat. Kern and Minnick, who, Kern hasn't gotten a hit, but Minnick with the home run. You've got some big hitters here up at the top of the lineup with a runner in scoring position.
Bassett, a fly ball, and that's the final. 3 hours earlier, I think, than the original first pitch start times. Try to find this favorable weather window that we have here on Friday. The sun's peeking out. First pitch is foul. Kayla Chavez gave it a ride, though. As I mentioned in her first at-bat, Chavez sitting on 99 hits in her career, but she struck out as the first batter up against Copeland here today. And Chavez, the one hopper, and Benson handles it, makes the throw for the first out.
Good composure by Copeland to see the power that Chavez had on that foul ball that was just launched foul. And to go and be able to deliver another pitch that's within that zone and just get that quick ground out. Confidence in what you can do is going to take you far here in this tournament and beyond.
Copeland facing Amani Bradley. She grounded out to the first baseman, Sarah Stone, in her first time up. And again, right to the first baseman. Stone is just keeping her hopping over there. Maybe we should call, when she's at the plate, the first base, the hot corner.
The shortstop, number 9.
Another quick ground out, just a good, easy hop. Copeland takes care of it, no problem. An inside pitch that Bradley just turns on. If Copeland's going to keep throwing that inside pitch, Sarah Stone's going to be busy. Getting Bradley to turn and ground out.
Jess Oakland at the plate. A savvy freshman. High IQ. This Minnesota coaching staff always would like to play in the fall. This little game when Jess Oakland was batting. They said that we would joke as a staff, we're going to get her out with this pitch. And it would never work because she would do stuff like that. Picks up the single. Oakland read that pitch all the way. She would read some of the pitches that her own coaching staff would throw at her in fall ball as well.
Jess Oakland has been one of the more impressive hitters that I've seen throughout this season, she just finds pitches and drives them, usually quick bat speed. That one she just really battled well, got her barrel out, was able to turn on it and drive it through that 5-6 hole.
A single with 2 outs for Oakland. And then Hartog fouls that one off. She had a 1-pitch at bat in her first at bat, and to lead off the second inning, flew out to center field. Den Hartog with 12 home runs on the season, 70 for her career. That was a home run swing. The quick snap throw over to first base.
Stone playing behind first base there.
Yeah, like she wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it looked a little bit like she wasn't expecting it. She didn't quite get to first base. Warwick not afraid to let it fly there.
Warwick seems a little concerned with some of the runners there for Minnesota when they've reached first base. She was keeping an eye on Kraft, who was interesting to me when Kraft was at first base, because Kraft doesn't have a stolen base attempt yet this year. But definitely trying to keep her eye on Jess Oakland. Jess Oakland for the season is 4 of 6 in stolen base attempts. But now 2 strikes on Den Hartog with 2 outs. Minnesota trailing by 2 and strikes her out. Den Hartog opens up this game, 0 for 2 in this game, and an impressive showing here so far by Copeland. History and kind of a neat moment here with Kern at the plate. And Venturella able to make it here to watch this in person.
You know, alumni events like that to me is just a sign of creating a culture. Shauna Stanton has done a good job trying to make sure that, you know, it's not about just the singular team that's in a season. It's about the culture of the alumni. We've seen so many teams that have been successful in years past, Northwestern, Minnesota, Indiana now, even Nebraska. Like the 4 teams that are still here in the Big Ten tournament have a phenomenal alumni, supportive, and really created a culture for their program.
Venturella, of course, a great player, also a college coach as well, an assistant and a head coach, and an Olympian. So a lot to kind of pick the brain of.
Current is really up on that line, and so she tends to get hit by pitches a lot. This one you can see Kern, she turns in at that elbow hanging kind of over the plate, and you can get called back to the plate if it's within that strike zone, or would have been in the strike zone if it didn't hit you. If you're in the box, you do not have to move, but in that case, I think a good call by the umpire to bring her back, issue a strike. And that elbow hangs just so far over because she's so close to that plate, just on that chalk line. Credit to Autumn Peace, though. She's not afraid to throw it to that inside corner.
So Minnesota has used one of its challenges. Remember, each head coach gets 2 for the game. So Piper Ritter has 1 left. This is Indiana's first challenge.
And you never know how many times there's going to be a situation that's going to be closer, you know, something that might be able to be reversed. This one, I think, is going to be an easy call. You see how that elbow just falls almost right over the inside corner of that plate. That ball also on the inside corner of the... She has just been solid. Veteran numbers as a freshman. So the call was upheld. And the original call was that her elbow was over the plate. And that's what they were challenged. That's why Shauna Stanton was challenging that it should have been awarded first base. They decided to uphold the call, kept her back at the plate. And a strike has been issued. Excuse me, a ball has been issued.
So 2 balls, 1 strike. And again, significant in this kind of game to note that, you know, each of the challenges have been used, one by each head coach now, so they'll each have 1 challenge left for the remaining part of the game. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
In a weird way, if you're Shauna Stanton, you want to challenge that because your best hitter is at the plate and has not gotten a hit yet this tournament, and that almost is a little bit of an icebreaker. Get hit by a pitch, get yourself on base, you know, contribute in some sort of way offensively so you can take the pressure off yourself a little bit.
Well, Kern coming into this at-bat 0 for 5 in the Big Ten tournament here so far. Here's the payoff pitch, and strikes her out. So Kern is 0 for 6 in the Big Ten tournament and the 3rd strikeout for Autumn Pease today.
Beautiful off-speed. Kern does typically a good job sitting back on these off-speeds and driving them, just questioning this here all the way through the swing. She swings just over the pitch, but a pitch in the strike zone. An outstanding job by Peace and just veteran confidence in the circle there. Worked last time, why not throw it again?
Yes, well, she struck out the player of the year twice now. Kern was caught looking in the 1st inning and gone down swinging here in the 3rd inning. And brings up Taylor Minnick as the DP. Had a 2-run home run in her first time up.
Minnick's numbers, again, outstanding. She finds a way to take this pitch up and out. Get her barrel on it. Great launch angle. She gets over center field, scores 2 runs. Was able to score Cora Bassett, who set the tone really as the leadoff hitter with a quick double. Pease just throwing her game, not afraid, getting ahead of Minnick here.
It's a 1-2. Bouncing ball, scooped up by Oakland, and the stretch is made. It's a good one by Cox there at first base, and now 2 outs. Good throw and good stretch to complete that play.
And just Oakland, this ball is kind of lined, takes the hop. Oakland on the throw, and a beautiful stretch by Delaney Cox. Get that quick out. We've seen some great plays from shortstops to me. On the run, making them look easy.
Sarah Stone is next up. Last year she came in mid-season, a transfer, University of Kentucky. Struck out in her first time up. The 1-0, that's foul. She had a slower start to her career, according to Shonda Stanton. You know, at Kentucky, you know, she came in as a prolific high school and travel ball player. And then coming to a new program, she felt like even last year didn't really have the confidence. Everything was new, right? Even though she wasn't year-wise as a freshman technically, it felt like she was a freshman. New program, new city, new college, new teammates. Settled in this year. And that pitch in for a strike.
And transitioning like that, you know, it can be so hard for people when everything's different, even if it's the right move and where you need to be, to really get settled in and really understand how things work and how they move. It can be hard to do. Now she's getting that confidence.
Oh, look at this. Sarah Stone on cue, flips the bat, and that one's gone. Another home run for Stone in the Big Ten tournament. The 9th of the year.
We're talking about her confidence on cue. Sarah Stone feeling it today. She got all of that one. Immediately, this ball barreled up and in on the hands. Check out that bat flip. And she knew it, a no-doubter. She's able to launch this ball. She knew it. She loved it. Her team loves it. I mean, it was out of here fast.
13 batters faced here for Autumn Pease, though, and has given up a couple of home runs. All 4 runs are earned here today so far. Heads up over there. Protect the pop-ups, please. Got balls sailing over there in the outfield.
I think when you've got, the pitcher of the year that you're facing, you know you have to bring your A game. And so far, we've seen Indiana do that. We've seen them do it beautifully with that long ball. A couple of them, like you said, today, but a couple solid hits in this game so far.
Swing and a miss, and so she strikes out Copeland. Indiana has scored in every single inning of this game here so far to celebrate, but she says we're student athletes. We don't celebrate some of the other moments, doing well with an exam or an internship that you wanted to get. And so they take those times to have those quote unquote clap moments with this team this year, and to celebrate some of the littler things that end up being the big things.
I feel like it's a message you could take just in life in general. I think sometimes a lot of people don't celebrate little things that go well, and this Indiana team is built on those little things. Little things happen on and off the field, and the confidence that it can give you and your ability to just stay in the moment. You're seeing it with this Indiana team.
Taylor Craft, her first plate appearance. She did walk and then ended up scoring a run in the second inning. A couple of walks for her in the Big Ten tournament, but facing an 0-2 count. That pitch in the dirt and low. How about celebrating some of the little fans who have come to celebrate with, a little fan, using a little fan.
See what you did there.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Copeland has been offering, when she gets ahead in the count, she's going to stay low in that zone. That one she delivered maybe a little bit higher in the zone, but got to be careful if you're Minnesota to not see that lower pitch and go after it. Den Hartog got a K on it. Burnett with a K on that low pitch, and several ground outs as well. That's really been kind of the name of Copeland's game today, is just getting those pop flies, those ground outs.
Minnesota trying to find a way to get back into it. Trailing by 3 runs offensively, what should be their approach here at this point?
I think that, their approach at the beginning, they're putting the ball in play. They're attacking that first pitch. I don't think that that's the wrong thing to do. I think they just got to stay with it and not get down.
And maybe get some good juju from Larry the Lizard, as you can see, who has appeared here.
Well, and this is a step in the right direction, right? Get the free pass early on with no outs. It's a 4-1 ball game. Your defense, of course, has to limit the long ball, has to make sure that less runs plate for the rest of the game. But this is an offense that can hit the ball hard. They can change the game with one swing of their bat, too. And it's just about staying in that moment and trusting what they can do and not getting down that they're behind in this game.
Strelo sits on the first pitch. Larry the Lizard, his first appearance was in the Iowa series this year. It's actually the owner of Larry, we learned, is Autumn Pease. And while the others had rally caps, Autumn has the Lizard and chasing that one down into left field. It's Kettleman making the play, and so Kraft will stay put at first base. And Larry is very flexible, as you can see. Very transformative Lizard. You can hold him in the hand, you can put him on the head. Good luck, kind of the rally Lizard, if you will. So anyhow, the story goes, last weekend against Michigan, what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to touch Larry or kiss Larry, and the team did that, except they forgot Michigan took the lead. Forgot the tradition of Larry, so to speak. They lost the lead, came back, returned to the tradition of Larry, getting the good juju, and then they ended up winning the game against the Wolverines. So obviously it's all about Larry.
Whatever gets your good juju going. Larry That's shown some success yesterday, too, on that walk-off from Breezy Burnett.
I've told a lot of stories in broadcasting. This is the first Lizard story that we felt the need to tell. For all the new viewers who are checking us out here on Big Ten Network who missed a lot of shots at Larry yesterday in Minnesota's quarterfinal win. Slow ground ball. Charging at it is Bassett, the third baseman, and safe. Maddie Elke keeping things going here for Minnesota.
And certainly not what Elke wanted to do there, but hey, whatever works, right? This is a pitch that was just topped. She lunged for it, extended out, light ground ball, really slow. Good job by Bassett to cut across and not allow Benson to get it. She's playing deeper. She makes the throw, though. Elke doesn't have a ton of speed, but she beat it out here.
Billy Connell will now be your pinch runner. That substitution happening here in the delay. Delaney Cox with that RBI single in the second. He's the one at the plate. And there is your pinch runner, Billy Connell.
24, Billy Connell.
Cox before that at bat. Her last one where we showed you she had an RBI single. Was 0 for 7 in this series. Remember, Minnesota and Indiana had already played each other 3 times in the regular season, and Cox hadn't gotten a hit until today.
And these are the moments, again, you got 2 runners on for Minnesota. Going back to your question of what does Minnesota have to do, this is what they have to do. Not allow the fact that some runs have been plated on the other side to keep you from doing what you're good at, which is getting runners on base. Now it's got to come down to a timely hit. Cox is going to get a good pitch here on a 3-0 or get herself on base.
And you see both head coach and pitching coach coming out for 2 different meetings, one with the infield, one with the battery.
I think you give up that hit to Elke and your response is throwing 3 straight balls. That's a good indication for any pitching coach to understand that maybe the focus is still on the runners on base and not about what you need to do at the plate. So maybe just a reset here of what the expectations are, what the need is. Attack the zone, pound the zone, feed the defense. Got force out at first, second, or third. So keep it on the infield, get those ground balls. And sometimes just doing that reset can get you back throwing the right pitches. And now Copeland's going to have to work from behind here.
Three balls, 1 strike against Delaney Cox. And Walter to load the bases. So a couple of free passes here in the 4th inning. 1 to Kraft, 1 to Cox, and maybe Larry starting to work his magic here in the Gophers dugout.
And on that at bat for Cox, that down pitch that Copeland has gotten some swings and misses on, that has gotten some good ground balls on, is just missing too far in the dirt. The last one getting away from Warwick.
Okay, Breezy Burnett, the hero from yesterday. Walk-off single to end up beating Ohio State.
See, she gets that barrel out and just sends it to the outfield. An overthrow that allows Strelo to score on that walk-off. We've seen so many great walk-offs, but talk about the energy that Breezy Burnett brings. Again, just in that 9 spot. Good batting average there in the 9 spot. Her job is to pass the bat, turn the lineup over, get her big hitters back up. But she can do it big too. No better than a timely hit there, and no better than a situation right here for her to just put the ball in play. Find a way to advance runners. Even a sac fly in this situation will score 1 if it's deep enough. So the runner at third, Billy Connell, has to be prepared. Good base running there at third base to tag if it's in the air.
Bases loaded here for Minnesota. Breezy Burnett struck out in her only at-bat right now in the second inning. She had a couple of hits yesterday in the quarters against Ohio State and tries to thread one down the third baseline, but it's foul. She was 2 of 3 yesterday, including that walk-off RBI single.
And the defense, of course, has to be moved in a little bit to try to make that force out at home. You've got to cut that ball off a little bit quicker. Even the outfield shaded in just a touch.
And she takes it, but it's foul. Ooh, it was close. Just a matter of inches, and Burnett could have been a hero in back-to-back games on back-to-back days.
You talk about the moments that fire me up, or these big hits. Look how almost fair this was as it curves just outside that foul pole. Cannot be reviewed because it was over the top of the foul pole. Home runs are only reviewable if they're at the height of the foul pole or lower.
Pitch is high. 2-2 now the count. So after seeing that as a pitcher for Copeland, how do you work with Burnett here?
Well, first of all, you keep it in enough that if she's going to hit it deep again, it's foul. Burnett, again, yesterday, the pitch that she hit beautifully to score Strelo in the walk-off was an outside pitch that she kind of drove to left field. So she's capable of getting her bat on it, hitting it hard. 3-2 count here. Now the question is, last thing you want to do is issue a walk a runner in, and turn the lineup around.
Burnett representing the go-ahead run, and lots of walks in this inning, and this one results in a run. So 4-2.
But you're going to see it down in the zone. And I think the big key for Heather Johnson is to feed that defense. This is a defense that knows they have to work behind her. It's super important in this situation for the defense to do their job here.
Brianna Copeland moves over to third base with that pitching change made, and Chavez chases it. Pass it over to right field as well.
This is the hardest situation to have to make in-game adjustments with bases loaded when you've got to come through with a timely hit and you've kind of got that pressure on you if you allow that pressure in, and then you start expanding the strike zone. Look for those strikes if you're Chavez. Trust what you can do. You're a leadoff hitter anyway, so putting yourself in a situation where you're facing a new pitcher is no different than that feeling of the beginning of a game looking to drive it. The difference here is that bases are juiced.
That ball is foul. But Minnesota, these hitters in this inning, in the top part of the fourth inning, are getting around on a couple of these hitters.
They've been burning up that left field foul line.
Yeah, a couple of the pitchers, I should say. Here is Johnson's offering on the 1-2. And a fly ball to right field. That's Bassett. Remember, they're in right. The tag is made by Elke. The throw is there, and she got underneath it. 4-3 the score now. The Gophers still rolling with 2 outs.
What a slide by Maddie Elke. Just to get under that tag. That pitch was deep enough, but Elke doesn't have a ton of speed. Would benefit from it being just a touch deeper, but she tags anyway. Makes the throw. And you see where the slide is. Getting the hand in as the glove of Warwick just slides over the back. Maddie Elke.
2 runs scored here in the top of the 4th. Monty Bradley with a couple of ground outs coming into this at-bat. Fouls it back. The 7th batter for Minnesota that has come to the plate in the top of the 4th.
The hard part of this lineup, Monty Bradley has been able to put the ball in play and hit it hard, but oftentimes I think her batting average is a touch lower just because she had a streak where kind of had Adam's disease. Hit him right at him, people.
One, two is low. 2-2, now they count. Bradley was fantastic. Only playing in her first season with Minnesota, but she's a senior transfer, and she was great on senior day against Michigan. Came up big time. Fouls that back right at her own dugout.
She does a really good job just battling off the pitches where they're thrown. That one's so low and in, and yet she was still able to turn on it, foul it off. Certainly not the one she's looking to drive, but it's the mark of a good hitter, is one that can see those pitches and get a piece of it until she finds something that she really feels she can drive.
To the count, and she skies one to center field, and a fly ball out to get out of the inning, but this one's interesting.
Of the innings, 85 innings. Again, this is a Minnesota team that kind of pitched by committee for a while, and then Peace has come on strong. She throws low in the mid-60s. She's going to keep the ball down, which I think is really important to keep the ball in the park with this Indiana team, but she does have to go and attack the zone against these batters, let her defense do the work.
Avery Parker is the first batter that she will face in the bottom half of the fourth. Look at Autumn Pease, who got the start. Very likely could, see Pease re-enter here in this game as well. That's always a possibility.
I think one of the downfalls that comes with being pitcher of the year is that you got a huge target on your back. And the first thing that a team wants to do is chase you out of the game and attack the pitches that are in that zone. And Indiana has done a phenomenal job at that so far this game.
And Parker takes it foul. 2 strikes against her. Minnesota, Pease has felt some Big Ten tournament success in the last few years. 1 ball, 2 strikes, high and outside. Minnesota with their 8th top 3 seed in the last 9 tournaments. They've won this 5 times. Pease has been a part of some successful Minnesota teams.
Good pitch there in the zone, especially on a 2-2 count. Not missing by that much. Just covering over the plate, maybe just moving a little bit high as it crossed the letters.
Parker stays in it. One of the Indiana natives is another thing that the Hoosier program is proud of, is putting a fence around the state. There were times that weren't able to even just talk to some of the top softball players in the state. They were interested in going elsewhere.
Check swing there. And Parker just gets a piece of the bat on it to foul it off.
Parker with 10 home runs on the season, had a home run yesterday in the quarters. Here's the 3-2, lines it down the third baseline, but foul.
Just left of that third base bag. Indiana has done a good job turning on these pitches. Hambrick, you have to adjust both to her speed and her different movement from Peace.
The 9th pitch of this at-bat coming up. Walter. Hambrick is a pitcher that hasn't appeared much against Indiana this year, just 4 in a third innings pitched in this regular season series coming into this appearance. But offers up a free pass to her first batter she faces. Kettleman had an infield single against Pease, tries to lay down a bunt down the third baseline. It's foul for the first strike.
I think in comparison to Peace, I think the struggle with Hambrick is that I don't know that the movement is as good as Peace's is. So when you have to go in and you have to attack a team that has been seeing movement that's been jumping a little bit more, you have to be really good on your pinpoint control.
Tries to drop it in, but charging in is Bradley to make the play for the first out.
Bradley covers a ton of ground out there in left field. We've seen her run down some plays and make some outs, and that was a necessary one there. Situation where Cassidy Kettleman was looking to bunt the pitch prior to it and advance the runner. Now an out, and the runner stays put. But good running team here. Heads up for Parker to potentially steal.
Kinsey Mitchell swings at the first pitch. Foul. Seen a lot of foul balls against Hambrick these first few batters. Outside pitch.
To your point, Lisa, on seeing a lot of foul balls, Hambrick, her swing and miss percentage is only 12.9%. She doesn't have a lot of swings and misses on the year.
And right up the gut. 2 on with 1 out. A walk to Parker. A single by Mitchell. And Indiana again threatening here in the bottom half of the 4th.
I think that was a good piece of hitting. Hambrick's going to keep the ball low, so if it's going to stay low, you've got to look to drive those ground balls through some part of the defense on the infield. And you see Hambrick drives it back up the middle. 2 on for Indiana, and this is where things can get dangerous. You put runners on the base path. Got Brooke Benson in that 9 spot. Turn that lineup over to some of your bigger hitters, your home run hitters with batters on. That's when Indiana can get dangerous quick.
Tatum Hayes, a pinch runner at second base for Parker. Here's Brooke Benson at the plate with 1 out and 2 on. Benson, only 1 at bat here so far going into this one in the 4th, but a good one, an RBI single. She pops it up in foul territory. 2 outs.
Benson just missing that. Not getting her barrel on it. Enough spin on Hambrick's pitches to not settle in yet. These Indiana batters making many adjustments in the at-bat, but this is where things can get dangerous when you get second time through that lineup. She's got to limit the runners on base to kind of limit that second time through the lineup.
What's your best guess about what the conversation is with these umpires?
I think there's a question about the contact between Delaney Cox, the runner at first, Kinsey Mitchell. Because when Cox went to make that catch, she ran into Mitchell, first base, or ran back, I should say. You could see how there was contact with her trying to make the play. And the out was made. The runner stays put.
And so we play on. Cora Bassett, your leadoff hitter in this lineup. Comes to the plate, 27 RBI on the season. And an RBI situation here. Strike call. 1-1 now the count. A ground ball that's fair and scooped up by Chavez. Long throw for the final out. Indiana.
And ironically, that production started in the middle to bottom of the lineup in the second and fourth versus the first and third, which is really the top of the lineup.
Yeah, the fourth inning was the most productive. Taylor Kraft was the one who led off the inning, to your point, batting in the fifth spot. You know, 3 walks offered and an infield single certainly helping the cause here for the Gophers. Very patient at bats. Hear the comments from Piper Ritter about the way they approached the plate in these at-bats. Now facing Heather Johnson again in the circle. A 3-0 count to Oakland. A 4-pitch walk.
I think that's a big thing that's going to happen in this inning when you chase both of your starting pitchers out of the circle. And you've got kind of your number 2 in that maybe gives up a few more free passes, maybe misses a little bit more over the plate. And that's where both of these offenses have to capitalize. That game plan of maybe attacking that first pitch strike has to change a little bit. You have to be a little bit more patient. You have to see the ball in. You have to look to attack something that falls over that plate.
Natalie Den Hartog at the plate. She's 0-for here so far. Not many games where she's gone 0-for. Minnesota's all-time home run leader. She represents the go-ahead run at the plate. Mentioned in her first time up, she's got 12 home runs this season, 70 for her career. Became Minnesota's all-time home run leader last year and elected to come back to play her super senior year, her 5th year back at Minnesota. She'll go to law school at Michigan next year. But the best home run hitter in Minnesota history sacrifices the runner over.
And you do what you have to. You're down 1 run. You can go and you can rely on your big hitter, or you can go and do what you need to and try to manufacture a run. And the first step of that is to getting that runner in scoring position. Jess Oakland to second base is key, especially, again, going back to the odd versus even innings. The ones where in situations that have scored have been Taylor Kraft and lower that has created some production.
Kraft got a piece of that for the first strike.
You know, there are people like Coach Stanton that says, you know, we don't have to steal as much because we can rely on our hitters, and Minnesota falls a lot in that category as well. But when it comes down to it, push comes to shove, you've got to push one across. You do the little things well, like a bunt.
Minnesota today 1 for 3 as a team with runners in scoring position. Kraft with an opportunity here, batting .385 individually with runners in scoring position. Couple of walks. She's been patient at the plate today. 1 walk in the second, 1 walk in the 4th inning.
Missing on the outside part of that plate. Again, getting behind on the batter Kraft. One pitch away from getting her third walk.
3-2 count.
Yeah, and good movement there on that pitch from Johnson. He spin it enough that it curves away from that plate. And Kraft was on it.
And her third walk of the day. Her fourth walk of the tournament. And Larry has reemerged. We keep showing Larry because Minnesota firmly believes in Larry. I just want to make that point clear.
They do.
In fact, they dedicated most of their post game with Breezy Burnett. In addition, she was giving all kinds of credit. It's all Larry. It's 100% Larry. With one out, Sydney Strelo at the plate. And Strelo trying to lay down the bunt. It's foul.
Trying to keep that barrel out. The spin of the ball just bounces back. Now behind in the count. Likely will not offer again, but trying to do again with the small ball. The advancement of the runners. You may get 2 outs on that sac bunt. You got runners on second and third if it's executed well.
Here's the 0-2, takes it the other way, that's foul.
I was gonna say, for somebody like Maddie Elke behind you, who's gotten 2 hits this game, that's a good situation to be in, get 2 runners in scoring position, but now Strelo's gonna have to battle, find a way to advance them another way.
Strelo, a slow dribbler that's also foul. Flew out in the second and lined out in the 4th inning. Still facing the 0-2 count. She's found herself in this position a few times, over 40 at-bats with runners in scoring position. And lays off the outside pitch. Strelo, 227 for the season. But she's upped her average in this kind of situation. She bats 300 with runners in scoring position. Strelo puts it in the air. It's a high fly ball over to left field. The runners stay put at first and second. Now 2 outs.
That was a great at-bat from Heather Johnson. Really battled well to get ahead of Strelo, and then Strelo had fouled off several pitches just to try to keep the bat alive, tried to mix up a pitch out of the zone, and then ultimately got her to pop fly the outfield in a location where runners couldn't advance.
First pitch swinging for Elke, deep fly ball to center field, and it's right at Mitchell. Her eye on you. I know she was texting you yesterday when we were doing some of the games.
I'm happy to say that she was my nemesis, that we're now friends. Softball does that to you. She had my number a time or two. I do think there was a ground out in that replay, though.
There was. I was going to ask, you know, who was the pitcher in that video throwing to Garland Cooper? Is that you wonder about. Kern fouls it back.
I don't know if you can talk trash all these years later, but
that Garland Cooper. Oh, it's Jenny Ritter.
Oh, look, PFP.
Fielding your position.
How much I love PFP, Lisa.
Look at twice. There's another one. Oh my goodness. What, we got a third?
Oh,
stop it.
Can we just mark this moment the one time Garland Cooper went 0 for 3 against me, because there's been multiple where she's dented walls at Welsh Ryan.
We just documented the only 3 ground ball outs that Jenny Ritter fielded in her career.
I think there's been a few more, Lisa.
Okay, 4 or 5. That's amazing stuff. I didn't know all that was coming. That was a nice surprise.
In all seriousness, credit to Garland Cooper. She was phenomenal, and so is Taryn Kern. And still looking for her hit here.
Yeah, the first hit. She's looking for it in the Big Ten tournament. Sometimes that happens.
You know what, though? The 2Ks, to me, I look at it and I'm thinking to myself, okay, it just means she's due. Doesn't mean that she's not seeing the ball well. Like, I don't feel as a pitcher that you can give her any quote-unquote less respect or deliver a pitch near the middle of the plate just because she's got those 2Ks. I think that you've got to keep your guard up and keep throwing your pitches exactly where you need them to be, because all it takes is one for her to kind of get back in her rhythm.
Yeah, 0 for 6 in the Big Ten tournament here so far. And a couple of strikeouts going into this at-bat. Not necessarily the numbers we're used to seeing for Kern. Here's a 3-2. And a dribbling ball that stays fair. And Delaney Cox will take it to first base, and it's another out. So 3 at-bats for Kern. And they've got her out all 3 times, and now 0 for 7 in the Big Ten tournament.
And just a really good pitch on the inside corner to get her out on that dribble.
I think there was a conversation about how this play ended. Take a look at Delaney Cox fielding it. And
just a dribble down the line, but she goes for the tag. You can see that one looked like maybe it bounced a little bit off the top of Kern's foot. And maybe that was the question there, was
it a foul ball?
Was it a foul ball? Because once it hits that foot, that's a dead ball foul. Oh, that's close. I don't know. I don't know if there was contact there or not, but it was pretty close. Either way, an out for Minnesota.
Taylor Minnick at the plate. Her one hit today is a big one. Her first hit of the Big Ten tournament. Both her and Kern coming into today. Didn't get a hit yesterday in the quarters, but Minnick had a 2-run home run in the first inning. That was against Autumn Pease.
And again, this Minnesota pitching staff, Hambrick going and attacking Minnick, getting ahead in the count. A lot to be said for these two teams that are not afraid to go and deliver pitches right into the zone for hitters that have already gotten you once.
The 1-2, and Minnick drives it to center field off the wall. Extra base attempt. The throw to second base, and it was waiting for. What a throw and a play from Den Hartog to get Minnick trying to take 2.
What a throw by Den Hartog. First of all, solid hit by Minnick. She drives this ball back up the middle, bounces off the wall. The wall, perfect hop to Den Hartog, makes the throw. And how about Strelo? Comes back for the tag, does not even see Minnick because she's so far out. She had to wait for her to come in. And just a perfect tag. You see how she put it right, that glove, right in front of the bag.
Yeah, textbook by both those players. First pitch swinging for Sarah Stone. And just like that, Minnesota out of the inning. We head to the 6th. Coming up next, it's Cox, Burnett, and Chavez. Not alive in the other dugout.
I'm going to claim them as my good luck charm.
Talk about a bird's eye view, though, up there in the lights. Delaney Cox 1 for 1, an RBI single in the second. And she also walked in the 4th inning.
And innings getting late here, but to me, I feel like this is absolutely the moment for the offense to come through big. And the timing with this part of the lineup, you're getting the bottom of the lineup, but Cox has found a way on base. Breezy Burnett, her last time, found a way on base. And bringing it back to the top and the heart of that lineup. This is, to me, is the best chance for Minnesota to really take one at least.
balls, 1 strike. Delaney Cox, last year 16 games off the bench. Started a little bit more here this year as a senior. Ground ball to Copeland. And 1 away, 1 up and 1 down. Our game summary looks like this with a 1-run advantage here for Indiana. Minnesota has been patient at the plate, drawing 6 walks, but look at the 7 runners left on base. That's significant for the Gophers, and the long ball has paid off for Indiana. 3 runs off of 2 long balls, Minnick and Stone. And 77 total home runs for Indiana as a team this year.
And that's truly where I give Indiana credit up till this point, is that Minnesota has not yet hit the long ball. They've found a way to manufacture runs through free passes and other ways, but a good job by the staff to keep the ball in the park.
Yeah, Minnesota was 69 home runs for the season. Breezy Burnett at the plate with 1 away. The Dogs having their own little game in left field. We got a bird sitting in the lights there in right field. We've got dogs in left field. An alpaca and lizard in the dugout. We're covered.
Heard bark of the park, but let's call it pet in the park. Huge K there.
Burnett caught looking.
This pitch, when you get behind in the count, you've got to go and attack the zone. That one a little bit low at the bottom of the strike zone, but it's where it crosses the knees. That one definitely crossing above the knee of Burnett. Called strike. Big K.
Heather Johnson, 2 1/3 innings pitched in relief. Her first strikeout. Walked a couple as she faces Chavez. And Chavez, a high towering fly ball to center field. Mitchell takes care of it. Easy inning and a clean inning for Johnson and the Hoosiers.
Just gonna keep that ball down and get ground balls. That's what they need to do right here.
And a deep fly ball, first pitch she saw, and Copeland takes care of it. A solo shot, and Indiana goes up a couple runs once again. The 13th home run this season by Copeland.
Copeland just seeing a pitch and driving it. No better way to welcome a pitcher to a game. Just got done saying Schwartz does a great job when she keeps the ball down. There's Mama.
Carol Copeland, who makes the trip. She's retired now, and so she can come to every single game here this year, and she loves seeing that swing.
Again, I just got done saying that Schwartz keeps the ball down. This one not down. This one more belt high. Too far over the heart of the play. Pups love it, Lisa.
Pups, they gotta look out for those flying balls. It's multiple times now it's come their way. 3 home runs in this game for Indiana. Make it 78 home runs as a team on the season. They think it's a great game of fetch over there.
I think this is such a necessary insurance run. We are getting later in the innings, but again, I don't think you can ever rule Minnesota out. And so to get that extra insurance run that saves you from a solo home run, something out of the park, or one manufactured run, it gives you a little bit of cushion. Certainly something that you need if you're the Hoosiers here, just to solidify a win.
This is Avery Parker, well ahead of that pitch.
And that's going to be the big thing with Schwartz, is even the fast stuff is slower than what they're used to seeing. So you do have to sit back. You've got to stay in your legs a little bit longer. and drive the pitch, sit back even longer on that changeup.
You see Carol Copeland, receiving texts or texting after her daughter went yard. It was a little bit of a distance for this family to travel, from an Alabama, and to come from Alabama to Bloomington. And talking to Shonda Stanton, she just appreciates the dedication, and told us even this week, even offered a little bit more scholarship money to show give a nod to the dedication that her mom and her family would provide in terms of trying to make the trips here to watch her daughter play. They wanted to make sure that it was financially worthwhile for her daughter to come to Bloomington. And Shonda Stanton certainly sharing that piece of the recruiting story here with us, and Parker strikes out.
By the way, Copeland coming back into the bullpen here. I think you get down to the 7th inning, you want to finish it as strongly as you possibly can, and that may come by way of the arm of Bree Copeland.
Bouncing ball by Kettleman, and 2 outs. Copeland too. The other thing with Shonda Stanton, we're in the era of NIL deals, and Copeland, Indiana is an Adidas school, and Copeland also having a great opportunity to connect with some big names in sports thanks to the NIL. Candace Parker, Billie Jean King. This past fall went to Los Angeles. 15 to 16 athletes at different schools with Adidas schools were able to do that, and a ground ball. And Minnesota will head back to the plate. The question now, though, is will we see Copeland again in the circle? The answer to come as we take a quick timeout. We've seen Copeland at the plate, though, for sure, trying to get it done.
I love it. I think it's amazing to see little babies like that and their mama. And you're right, best view in the house.
Well, Copeland stays out of the circle, and she starts this inning at third base still. So it's Johnson still in the circle for Indiana, but Copeland kind of getting some of her practice in. Remember, she plays in the field, so in between innings, when she's not batting, that's the time where she can get some reps back in.
Yeah, she doesn't have time to warm up if she's at third base, so I think it was a smart decision just to get her out there and get her prepped in case something went sideways here this inning. But Johnson, throwing a great game, has not recorded a hit.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Mamani Bradley. There's a look at Copeland. Coach calls her one of the best two-way players in the country. She can pitch, she can play third base, she can hit. A couple of home runs here in the Big Ten tournament, an absolute shot. Stone trying to recover it, it's an off to the races. Barely got her for the out. That was close.
Stone did a great job blocking this ball, but it kind of landed right underneath her when she got up to turn around and find it. She couldn't find it, gets that foot in just barely. Good stop here, because that was a hard hit ball. Grabs it, barehands it, foot on the bag, and an out for Indiana.
Jess Oakland at the plate. Oakland with a 4-pitch walk in her last at-bat. A single in the third, flew out in the first. Now 1-1 the count. Heather Johnson has thrown 3 complete innings. 1 strikeout and 2 walks, one of them to Oakland. Minnesota scored a run in the top of the second, a couple in the top of the fourth to tally their 3 runs. Strike call against Oakland. 2-2 now the count.
Great off speed. Hitting on that part of the corner.
They call Oakland a gamer, and a high fly towering ball to left field for the out. 2 away.
The center fielder, number 31, Natalie Denhartson.
Top of the 7th. Minnesota as the visitors, down to their final out. An NCAA tournament awaits them, but their Big Ten tournament life in jeopardy here. Natalie Denhartson at the plate.
And Heather Johnson, I think for Minnesota, the big key was to really jump and attack Heather Johnson as she came in to this game. Your goal to chase Peace, the pitcher of the year, out of the game, but you've got to go and attack the pitcher they put in, and Minnesota has not done that. Johnson just phenomenal at placing the ball where she wants it and letting the defense do the work behind her.
The 1-1 to Denhartson, ground ball to Benson, takes care of it. Indiana knocks off number 3, Minnesota, and a significant moment for the program. Indiana is off to the Big Ten Tournament Championship game.
What a battle by Indiana, taking control of this game and never really losing it. An outstanding job to jump on Autumn Peace in the circle for Minnesota and continually score some runs. Just a great offensive output. And how about Heather Johnson to close this game up and just be strong?
Whenever I look into your eyes, I find less peace and love for me. You are everything that I have ever wanted. want to spend every second of my life with you. I don't know if some kind of a magical agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. Whenever I look into your eyes, I find less peace and love for me. You are everything that I have ever wanted. I want to spend every second of my life with you. I don't know if some kind of a magical agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. I don't know if some kind of a magical agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain